Hey guys, if your stem looks like something like this, uh, that means you have a threaded headset. So if it's loose, I'm gonna show you how to fix it and how this thing works. Um, if you have something like these ones, that means you have threadless. So I have a video for that. This is totally different. Um, so if you're hitting the brakes and this handlebar is moving back and forth, that means your bearings are out of adjustment. So to fix that, what you need is either a 6 mm Allen key or the 1/2 inch. If the 1/2 inch doesn't fit, you need the 13 mm. So most of these are 13, but some are half. So you can loosen this if it's just like a nut like this, a bolt. That's to raise your handlebar up and down, basically. But if you can't get your big wrench, inside here because there's not enough space, then you can raise your handlebar. So I'm just gonna remove it just so I can show you exactly how this is working. So if you loosen this one right here, and so you see it just dropped down because I already had it loosened, but as soon as it's loose, you can put your legs around this front wheel if it's stuck in there and just twist it and it'll come right out. So you could just put that out of the way. So here's where your issue is going to be. It's going to be with this little ring here. That is the bearing race. So you can tighten that. Even with the handlebar still on, you can just tighten this by hand. Don't use any tools on this. That's why there's no a tool fitting. It's just for your hand. So you tighten it by hand, and that will remove all the play in your bearings. Then what you have here is this nut. This is the lock nut. I'm going to unscrew it to show you how it works over here. So under this lock nut is a keyed washer. The reason why it's called keyed is because it has a little groove that fits into the where they cut a slot. So that has to fit into that groove. That's the only way this is going to work properly. So then you can put your nut back on. And you could either do it by hand, but the proper way is get yourself a wrench and tighten this nut. You can hold the wheel while you're doing this, or you can try to hold this thing with your hand. But the better way is just use the wrench and hold the wheel so it doesn't turn. Don't go crazy on that. This is not necessary. So just tighten it a little bit. And make sure you have a free movement. So you don't want too much pressure on your bearings. You want a bit of tiny play, but you don't want movement. So it's a fine balance. And just tighten that lock nut to this ring. And it shouldn't come loose on you. If it does, just make this nut tighter. But just make sure you're not over tightening your bearings. And then put back your handlebar. If you notice, this Allen key is not fitting. This 6 mm it has to be a 6 mm. If it doesn't fit, here's what your problem's probably going to be. Is this Allen? It's full of rust. That's why it appears that this 6 mm cannot fit inside, but it will fit inside because this is only 6 mm. These bolts. There's no other size for this, so don't use the wrong size. Use the right size. Use the 6 mm and jam it in, clean out that rust, and jam that thing in. Because this is the only size you can use. Otherwise, you're going to strip that bolt. And then you got your 13 mm for if it's like a nut like this. It's going to be 13 or half. Don't use something like this. You're going to ruin your lock nut. And you're gonna ruin your thing. It's gonna just make it look like garbage, and it's gonna be all sharp over here. You don't want that. That's not necessary. So if yours is loose, this nut is gonna be very loose. You could almost tighten it by hand. but it's going to keep loosening on you. That's why you can use a wrench if you want. So any wrench adjustable will fit onto that. You can also, when you put your handlebar, you can adjust it for the height you want, and all you got to do is tighten that nut there. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.